my website there. And I just want to greet everyone and say thanks so much for coming on in to visit with me for a little bit. I am going to talk about being ready for anything. And what I mean by that is you, your health, your wellness, being out in the world. It's so great to see all of you say hello. Thank you so much. That's so encouraging. Before I get started, I do want to mention, though, that I am not a doctor. I'm not a licensed medical practitioner, but I am a licensed esthetician, cosmetician, makeup artist. So I've worked a lot with people with skin for over like 40 years. Currently, I am, if any of you have visited my website, you can kind of read a little bit about my history or go on LinkedIn. I've got a lot there. You can see that I have been speaking and doing videos and talking to people and educating and training for, well, way too long, let me tell you. So I have a lot saved in here that I'm excited to share with you. And today I'm specifically addressing how anyone, but especially somebody with autoimmune, can navigate and feel comfort, safe, that, they're doing all that they can to not bring home any bugs with them. No hitchhikers, that's what I like to call them. So I wrote this article originally for my family. And it was because we were going on a trip, and I just, wanted to kind of give them the heads up that maybe some of the stuff I do could be different than they were used to. And this was pre-COVID, just pre-COVID, because now some of it seems very normal, I know. But I just sent them this little letter saying, hey, we're going to hang out together as a family, make treasured memories. But I just want you to know that I learned a lot during my years of being blessed to serve at our church. We were at a super church here, and I live in Illinois, that I was a section pastor. And so I was engaging a lot with people, lots of time, lots of people that wanted to hug, really good stuff. And then I was also starting my career as a speaker, doing with the wellness community and doing this kind of thing, but live, and meeting lots of you in person. And that was just such a great growth time for me. But the reason I'm speaking to the wellness arena, all of you, my new friends, and some of my old friends, I can see some of you out there, thank you, is because I have an autoimmune disease. It's called ankylosing spondylitis. Turns out my mother definitely had it, and I cared for her for a couple of decades with my family. And then my son was disabled with it 10 years ago. And at that time is when I've had symptoms, I've had issues all my life, but I was a single mom. And so once they told me I wasn't dying, I just kept pushing and kept going. But boy, with the stress of my son becoming sick, my mother's caretaking, and then going through menopause, some of you might be able to relate to that one. I hit a wall. And I met some really great practitioners, and I will start mentioning some names and resources. That's part of the reason why we want to get connected. And all of my links are for social networking. All my social stuff is down below, just down below there, as well as my website. And I started having these symptoms, collected a medical team around me, and at first did everything in traditional medicine, but then after time thought, there's got to be more. And then I ventured into finding functional medicine and integrative medicine and all kinds of holistic therapies that just boosted my ability to feel my best. And I was doing great. I was feeling myself again. And then 2 car accidents. Yes, not just one, but 2. The first one was in 2013, and then 23 months later in 2015. And those, on top of what I already had, have really impacted my life. And let's face it, if you've got a person in your home that is affected by autoimmune or any other type of disease or has been affected by cancer, the whole family goes on that journey with you. And so that's why finding a resource like myself that can partner with you to kind of give you the cliff notes. You don't have to start at zero. You can move to, a ground very quickly where you can have lots of information at your fingertips. And so that's why partners like myself can help you. All right. So I created this list. Now, I just want to make sure that this list does not create pressure for you. This list is going to help you have peace of mind. That's what it did for me. I'm meeting with a lot of people today that are just becoming hyper vigilant. I mean, just scared to go out the front door. And I understand, I do. But I also know that tomorrow is not promised. And there are so many people that I love that I want to interact with. And I have found a way to do it safely for myself. So this is my strategy that has really been working so far. Amazing for me. And I don't have just the last 8 months or so that we've been dealing with COVID as experience. A little background on me. I mentioned that I was at a church. So I was at a church for 6 years on the floor, interacting with people, at first shaking hands. And I'll tell you later why I stopped that. I'll tell you later. And then I was also starting to do these expos. They were first called the gluten-free and allergen-friendly expos. And then they became the Nourish festivals, including so much more alternate eating lifestyle information. And so this is a pretty great platform, don't you think? Man, Jen and Michelle and Tina have worked so hard. So I just want to shout out to them. Okay, back to the list. This list, you can find everything pretty much I'm saying on my website. I just posted the letter that I sent out to my family before our trip, but it just outlines the, protocol that I use, and I will continue to use because it's worked. I know, and it's happened, when I don't follow 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 of these steps, all of a sudden I'm interacting, especially with someone I know was sick and then had a cold or something. And then sure enough, a couple of days later, I get it. And I think, I didn't do my supplement. Oh, I didn't do the oregano oil. Oh. So here we go. Ready? Here's my checklist. Now, again, this isn't to stress you out. This checklist is to help you find peace. And if you're under medical care, if you're seeing a doctor, please go run this all by them before you change anything in your current treatment plan. All right. Okay. So first thing, if anybody knows me, they know that skin is my thing. And I always encourage people to find safe, non-toxic products. The best of nature and that science have to offer. So make sure that the things that you bring with you to sanitize your hands, the things that you choose at the store and to bring into your home are safe. You want to make sure that when you're washing your hands repeatedly, which we all seem to be doing right now, or hand sanitizing, that you don't end up with red, irritated, sorry, there was a little alert there, red or irritated skin. Because when we get red, irritated skin, that means your skin isn't at its healthiest and it could let things through. We want to keep our skin protecting us. It's part of our immunity. If you are confused a little bit by the definitions or the words that I use, I wrote an article, The Hand Towel Did It, and it's on my blog. And you should be seeing my website, but it's elizabethanthonygroner.com. And then you can go to the articles, and that's where you'll see the list there of different things that I've written. And you can just go back to June 19th, 2019. But I define the differences between sanitizing and washing and disinfecting and sterilizing, because a lot of people interchange those terms and they're not interchangeable. Sorry, they're just not. You'll also see an article that I wrote. I did not write, actually. Someone quoted me in Glamour in April of 1994. So that tells you how long I've been doing this. There you go. Okay. Now, washing your hands between, and I'm looking at a little tablet here to help me stay on track and get all the information to you. Washing your hands is best practice, when many times a day after you interact with people, or you've been outside and you just want to make sure that you didn't bring anything in with you. But I also want you to think about the things that you might be carrying and touching, using when you've been out. Now, for some people that have no autoimmune issues, maybe that's more than you need to worry about. But for me, I have ankylosing spondylitis and fibromyalgia since the car accidents. And so I do really make sure that I clean everything else that I touch. So number one, the phone, right? I have wipes that I clean my hands with first. They're hand sanitizers, safe for your skin. And then you can wipe down your phone. Or I have also wipes that are just for things. So like my water bottle, my phone, my glasses. Boy, I really didn't want to wear these today for you, but guess what? Just can't see everything that I want to see without them. So bear with me. Sorry about the little bit of glare. All right. And then anything else that you might have used. So if you took out, sometimes I'm carrying a cooler or something like that, and you carried it, you touched it, you pulled things in and out, then you might want to wipe that down before you bring it into your car. Instead of handshakes, I stopped doing handshakes at church. And the reason for that really was less about touching people and more about some people just have a crazy strong grip. They would grab my hand and lovingly squeeze very hard. One time, someone actually brought me to my knees. My poor husband was like, "What happened?" And the man felt terrible. But I had unwisely was wearing a ring on this hand, and he had squeezed my hand really tight, and I actually got bruises on each side of the fingers. So he was really a strong person, and I have rheumatoid arthritis type of condition. And so it just, felt that for a little while. So that made me go to fist bumping. And then fist bumping, what happened is, especially to the younger folks, they would see me going like this and they'd like wind back up and they'd boom. I'm like, oh yeah, that's just not a good plan either. So a lot of times it was just a, hey guys, not going to shake. Or now, of course, they're talking about the elbow bumping and whatever works. Just let people know, a wink, it'll all work. I'm first generation American, and my father always kind of like tilted his head when he met people. And so I find myself doing that too. So other, peoples use lots of different ways to communicate with each other. And that was a non-way to touch, right? Some people bow, some people nod their head, but smiling always works, right? Oh, except if we have our masks on. And of course, that is the one big change since I wrote this, is that we are wearing our masks now when we are with people. All right. Next thing. Some people say I'm a fashionista, but a lot of times there's a lot of practicality to wearing a scarf or a jacket with pockets. And the reason I do that is I can grab the scarf or put my hand in the pocket of my jacket, and then that's what I can open doors with or touch surfaces. If I'm really in like, a big office building or going to the grocery store or somewhere where I just, know there were lots of people there and I just wanted to protect myself. Again, maybe a little over the top for some of you, but for those of us who are compromised, just a simple little thing to think about. And of course, once the weather chills down a little bit more, I really am a sunshine, warm weather girl. But gloves. Yeah, gloves are easy. And all of those are things that when you get home, you just take it off, throw it in your laundry, and it gets washed whenever it gets washed, but it's, away from you and safe. Okay. Since I'm immune compromised, there are two other little things that I do, especially if I had been around a lot of times the grandkids, when you have, I'm blessed with 7 grandkids. Can you believe it? But it just seems when you have 7, there's always one that's sick. And so just in good practice, I will be sure to drink some water so that you clear any bugs that might have gotten in your throat, because stomach acid, healthy stomach, is an excellent place to, again, defend you. If you're not so sure about that, people I do know will put some water in their mouths, gargle a little bit, and then, spit into the trash, or if you're home, into the toilet. Those work. And then blow your nose. It's just simple, but those little hairs in our nose are there for a purpose. They're there to filter our air and catch things that our body might not want. So help your body get rid of it instead of, getting so much in there that you sneeze and then, well, let's not talk about that. You know what that does. All right. Then the next thing I want to talk about is, if you don't feel well, or if you have someone who's not well in your home, laundry. I mentioned it a minute ago. Laundry, I just separate the colors and wash it usually. But if I know I have someone who is sick in the house, or if I'm not feeling well, I usually don't commingle the wash. In other words, if you know you got bugs on the clothes, then hey, keep those clothes and those sheets and those towels all together and let them do a load together so that you don't potentially, you want to believe that the soap, and for most things, COVID, soap and water is good. Sorry about that. I'm just going to close my door. Got some noise out there. I apologize. Then you want to make sure that, and a lot of times you can use an essential oil like, I just lost it. Melaleuca, or tea tree oil. Melaleuca is the scientific name. Tea tree oil is the common name, but that has great antimicrobial properties, and it can be used for so many things. And essential oils are a whole nother talk, but I will mention them again in a minute. All right. This is the big one. Take care of yourself. You only get one you. Eat well. Stay hydrated. Learn what you need to feel your best. So for me, my regimen includes daily bone broth. And I have spoken extensively about this. And as a matter of fact, if you go to my website, you can see, or actually I have a special in my booth that you can go click on, enter to win a session with me. Just you and up to 3 other people in your kitchen. I'll be in mine, and we will cook together. So I'm giving away 2 of those free as a giveaway. So you want to be sure to go and find that on my page. So I'm also, I'm a speaker, but then I'm also on the Online Nourish Festival as a booth. And that, I think I'm booth 58. So you can go there, find me, Elizabeth Anthony Gronert, and then click on my special and get entered to win that possibility. I also have an extensive class that just goes through step-by-step how and why I do the things I do when I make bone broth. And so there's also a time that you can sign up in my booth and on the website if you'd like to learn more about bone broth, because it has changed the way I look, the way I feel, my endurance. I can't even tell you. It's probably the one that made the biggest change. As a matter of fact, Jen Cafferty, who is our Nourish Festival, she started it. She's supported us through it. She's helping all of us grow. She saw me after I started this protocol and said, whatever you're doing, you're going to tell people about it. And then that was when I transitioned from talking about everything but food to people and helping people with their products and things like that. Since I had come from the beauty industry, I transitioned into also helping people with their food. So it was like a graduation. I take anywhere from 8 to 20 ounces a day, and that could depend on my activity, how I'm feeling. And I do make lots of different flavors. I include lots of different things, but what's wonderful about making bone broth yourself is that you can make sure that what you need is in there. So like if you need more iron, or if you need less iron, more veggies or certain types of veggies, certain types of nutrition, you can add those things in. And that's a piece of how I can help you as well. Another thing that I do daily is a smoothie. A smoothie is just a great way to get a lot of things in your body that maybe wouldn't happen if you just left it up to you eating. And so chewing is a very important part of mindfulness. So you definitely want to be chewing some food throughout your day. But my smoothie boosts the greens I take, lots of greens. I usually have carrots in there, some other veggies, cucumbers, avocado. Avocado is actually a fruit. And then, of course, some bananas to make it nice and creamy. It's usually for me, it is water, vegetables, and fruit. And then I have some supplements that if I take them in capsule and swallow them down, even if I take it with the smoothie, they still bother me. But if I open the capsule and sprinkle them into my smoothie and blend them up, they don't. So how's that? That's another way to get supplements if that's something that you are taking or part of what your protocol is all about, then that might be another way to try and take them. Just have to make sure that the capsule can be opened. There are certain ones you can't or you shouldn't. All right. And then the other thing, of course, is making sure you have enough water. The common practice is half your weight in ounces, but I usually way surpass that, especially since I'm doing the bone broth and I'm doing the smoothie. So I have lots of liquids going through, and I can really tell the day when I just haven't had a lot of water. So keep up on that. It really makes a difference in how you feel. And then talking about supplements, I do have one supplement that I have found. It has vitamin C, zinc, echinacea, and astragalus root in it. And this particular supplement for me has been a game changer in that I can feel something coming on. I can feel wiped out. I can just tell I've been pushing too hard, which is something when you have autoimmune can happen pretty easily. And by taking this supplement, adding maybe going to its maximum recommended dosage, I can within 2 days feel completely different. So that's something to look into, to check into with your medical team or who you're partnering with on your journey. A wellness journey is a journey. It's perpetual, it seems. We are learning all the time. So that has been a big difference. And then essential oils. The one that I use all the time, I have like 3 or 4 favorites, but when I have been interacting with people, the one I absolutely will use is diluted oregano oil. And you want to make sure your essential oils are real, that they're not a synthetic. And there's lots of reputable companies out there that are offering you top of the line, 100% pure product. As far as products, that would be something we would chat together about one-on-one or on a different call. Right now, I'm keeping this completely generic on for the Nourish Festival. But essential oil, oregano oil, dilute it. It is a very strong active, and I have on my article, I have quite a bit of information about all the things you should do regarding, making sure you do a patch test. If it's something you're going to inhale, that you do it in a room that you can leave if it bothers you. And definitely essential oils, you want to make sure that you're very knowledgeable before you decide to use them with children. And then the caveat for anyone who's pregnant or babies, you definitely want to check with your doctor because essential oils are a gift from our ancestors, and they were the medicine for many, many, centuries, right? So they are extremely effective, but they also can interfere with medications. They can interfere with allergies. I see this commonly online that people post about, essential oils don't bother them, and that's great. But I have a severe pine allergy, and I can't tell you, I've actually been physically burned by people spraying their handmade sanitizers on their hands. And then I just happen to walk through that mist, like they're spraying their hands as they're walking and they're rubbing, and then I'm behind them and I just kind of hit that mist on the way out and I end up with a rash, a burn. So yeah, just be aware when you're using things that even though they don't bother you, they could really harm somebody around you. So just be careful with anything. Anyway, but yeah, if you have sensitive skin, and I also want to say use filtered water if you're going to diffuse it. You want to be just inhaling diffused essential oil that you put in there, not any of the other things that might be in your water. And I do have a great class on that, hidden ingredients in our daily lives, and kind of outline all that. So it's another one to go look for. That one would be on my booth. I'm sorry, but the booth link will take you to my my website. So just, yeah, you can find it there. All right. And this one's a given. As a matter of fact, today isn't as sunny as I'd hoped it would be. But I still think you can see me okay. I'm using natural light coming in, but you need to get outside. Boy, I can't tell you the difference. Just 15 minutes out in real sunshine, and check with your doctor, but a lot of information out there says that, 10 to 20 minutes without sunscreen just to get your vitamin D. I'm always pretty careful with my face and my neck because, let's face it, that's the part that gets the sun damage the fastest. But definitely want to get out there and get some sunshine. And if you have sleep issues, there's a lot of information about getting out and getting some sunshine, even if it's cloudy like today here in the Chicago area, on your skin to help you, get your rhythms back in sync. And then wrapping up my list, this is number 11, which I know seems crazy, goes by quick, right? But number 11 is don't share. What I mean by that is don't use each other's towels at home, especially if they're wet, okay? And I get into it, so if you do check out my article, The Hand Towel Did It, which is on my website, is under articles, and it's from June 19th, 2019. It's got some humor, but it does drive the point. And it is the material that I probably have been teaching. It's terrible to say, but like I could be almost have been teaching this like for 35 years. See, you're not old. All right. Don't share water bottles. Don't share drinks or eat off of each other's utensils. And of course, things like lip balm, toothbrush, nail clipper, you only use yours. And then if you do need to share things like a phone or a keyboard, those things can be sanitized. And the results out there are really, really good regarding just washing things down as far as getting rid of things that can harm us. Microorganisms are very sensitive and are easily deactivated in most cases. So just simple hand washing or hand sanitizing, wiping things down with a cleanser really can, and again, I just want to make sure that you don't get like hyper vigilant here. We want to make sure that these are things that are going to help you say, hey, yeah, got it. I did all that. And I have peace of mind that, I have done my part in being, as healthy as possible and not bringing things home. I just share this because I am less sick. When I was younger, I used to get sick all the time. If I was around somebody who was sick, it was just a matter of when, really, it was. And since quite honestly, have been the most immune compromised, I went on a number of drugs that even made me more immune compromised during the early years of being at church and speaking at the Nourish Festival, and using these steps. I am now reliably pretty healthy. So I hope some of the things that I do for myself, remember this is just what I do, and hopefully it might help you. It's helped some of my family members and friends. And you can find the list all written out for you by just going to my website and seeing my most recent article. And you also, I would love your feedback regarding other things that I could include, information that you have questions about or things that have worked for you. I'm going to, and there's a lag, so you won't see this for a minute, but I'm just going to, I think all my information is right there, but I'll just put it here for you in the chat too. So you'll see how slow I type now. ElizabethAnthonyGronert.com. There we go. Let's see if that comes up. There we go. So you can send that to me by email, and that's really the best way. And I actually have my email open right now. If I'm seeing your questions, but just know that there is a lag, and I've been trying to get them as quickly, but I'm just taking a look here really quick to see if there's something else if I should mention for you before I say goodbye. Yeah. This was really an honor. I want to say thank you so much to Jen and Tina and Michelle for working so hard day and night to help us do this. And I hope you, the audience, have enjoyed this talk. If you did, I would love to invite you to come to some of my other live classes. I have 3 of them set up in October. My bone broth meals class, which will help you start to finish. We'll start with a roasted chicken and end with like 3 or 4 meals, including you'll have plenty of bone broth to use in recipes as well as to nourish you and your family. And I also do a full program for just people that are having skin issues. And then again, the hidden ingredients. And then I will be doing this talk with slides. So watch for it. So just be sure that we get connected. And of course, if you want to chat one-to-one, let me know that. I'm going to leave now and go into my booth. And I'll be there waiting if you want to do a live video chat where you can either just text with me. It's your choice, or you can turn your camera on and talk to me face to face, just like this. So thanks again, everyone. And I look forward to seeing you online, virtually, very soon. All right. Bye for now.